Hey guys, SoCal Val here. You are listening to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast.
Two, one. Welcome everybody back to another cutting edge interview on the channel. You can tell by my screen behind me that generally, like I tweeted out before, or X, or whatever the social media platform is nowadays, that generally we have guests that come on our show. Well, the show's changed for this one. It's now the Nina Samuels show with Nina Samuels herself. Welcome aboard. How are you?
Hello, welcome to my show.
It feels weird hosting your show. You should be asking me the questions, right?
Yeah, but I feel like you're probably not as interesting as me, so I feel like we should just do it the other way around.
Well, yeah, it could be. I mean, yeah.
You can help facilitate my show.
Help facilitate. Well, hopefully I'll do your
Yeah.
show justice, Neil. How about that? Hopefully.
Oh, I hope so. I mean, it's my show, of
It's
course.
your
Right?
show.
What could
Yeah.
possibly go wrong?
I don't know, but I'm sure that if I do make any mistakes at Super Strong Style, you'll be coming to pay me a visit and you won't be very happy.
I mean, a super strong style. I'm kind of busy. In case you didn't see the announcement, not just a fatal four-way for the women's championship, but a ladder match for a fatal four-way. So, as pissed off as I may be with you for how this show goes, as super strong style specifically, I'm going to have other things in my mind.
You will have indeed, and we're going to touch upon that. So let's just get straight into that. Super Strong Style ladder match. I was there at Twisted Metal, and you, you delighted us with your presence on two occasions during that show. I suppose my first question for that would be, why did you decide to get involved at that point?
Well, I mean, if Nina Samuels isn't in the ring, then in my view, the fans don't deserve to be entertained. You know, every match needs more Nina. The Progress Women's Division specifically needs more Nina. And there were two women specifically on that show who had previously got involved in my business. So, of course, I'm going to reciprocate that and return the favor, that being Rio and Kanji.
Yes, and you certainly did. You certainly made your impressions felt in those matches. Anyway, Rio being the latest Progress Women's Champion, obviously cashed in her shot. It feels pretty weird that you are a belt collector everywhere you go. I mean, the amount of pictures I see, you've got titles pretty much any place you can hold a title up.
10 right now, thank you very much.
It wasn't me on social media that said 8.
I know some people can't count. Some people think, oh, it's just going to be the ones in the arms. No, I can't just fit them on my arms. Like, you see Rio coming out with her multiple belts. Well, sure, fair play, well done. You've got so few belts that you can actually carry them and walk with them to the ring. I can't.
No, you've got loads. I will say something that's probably going to annoy you a bit, but we have 2 belts, and you don't have any of those at the minute in wrestling.
Have you had me challenged for any of them at any point?
I don't book you. That's down to the promotion.
Well, then whose fault is that I don't have any of your belts?
That could well be Ignite or Apex. I'm not going to get involved in that. I'm sure you'd come to you free.
They're your titles. You should get involved in that. You want your titles to be held by the best, by the utmost superstar. So you should get involved. Get it booked. Get me some more championships. I can always do with more.
Oh.
I can always do with more. Round up to a nice, lovely 11 or a nice, lovely 12.
It would be 12, yeah. If you won both of them, you'd have a dozen. We'd have to think of a new nickname apart from the belt.
Ultimo who? Ultimo who?
Ultimo Nina, maybe.
Ultimo Nina, yes. Well, I mean, I've already got the same amount that Ultimo Dragon had. Ultimo Dragon with his famous pitch for the 10. I've got 10 now. So, let's just take it one step further or 2 steps further.
2 steps further, yeah. Well, I'll put in a word with the promotions and see if we can get the Nina Samuels show for our Turnbuckle Championships. That would be quite interesting if we could do that and make that happen. However, let's go back to Progress. Look, you had your shot in December. We spoke just briefly off air about that. Do you feel a little bit, I suppose the word disrespected, because of what you've done outside of Progress, the belts that you've got, that you've now been put in a match with 3 other people, and as you said, not just any match, you're in a ladder match where your head's got to be on a swivel. Do you think that you've been slightly disrespected here by management of Progress?
Oh, 100%. I mean, we saw the footage that I showed everyone on the latest Nina Samuels show, the first ever live Nina Samuels show at Progress. I hit Rio with the Starstruck in that match at Unboxing. Every time I have hit the starstruck in any match anywhere in the world. I have got the 1, 2, 3. So why does Rio think that she would have been any different? I mean, we saw her laying out cold. She wasn't moving. That Progress Women's Championship should have been mine if it wasn't for that referee getting in the way. So in my eyes, Rio should have been begging me for a rematch. She should have known that that was an asterisk next to her name by the fact that I hit her with the starstruck and the referee was down. She should have known that that meant there was a question mark on her championship reign. So she should have come begging me, but she didn't. Why is that? She's scared. She's scared of Nina Samuels. She knows exactly what I can do.
Indeed. And, well, it certainly seems that way. I mean, yeah, it seems like you're being sidestepped a little bit, Nina.
I am. And of course, most recently in Philadelphia, Lana Austin interrupted a Rio match in Manchester and got rewarded with the championship match. I, prior to that, had interrupted a Rio match and not been rewarded with a title match. Where is the consistency? So of course I feel like I'm being screwed over. And now added onto that, the fact that there are 3 women involved, not just one of the women, there are 3 women involved, a 4-way. I've got to have eyes everywhere. The ladder's being involved as well. So I could not even be involved in the decision. And I could have lost my opportunity to become Progress Women's Champion. That doesn't sit right with me. But a caveat to that, I have been in 1 ladder match in my life, and I won that ladder match. I am undefeated in ladder matches. That match was at Pro Wrestling Eve, the first ever Wrestle Queendom at York Hall. I won the wild card ladder match, which I cashed in to become Pro Wrestling Eve champion, which I am now 2-time Pro Wrestling Eve champion, current Eve champion. So surely this does mean that whilst I am very annoyed at the way this has come about, surely I have the advantage in this match.
You should do, being you've got the experience. There are some fans out there that saying that you're getting your just desserts, though, because you interfered in these matches. That putting you in the 4-way just basically means you got involved, so you have to deal with them all.
I got involved because no one was listening to me, because I was being ignored. I wasn't being given the 1-on-1 title match that I deserved. But it doesn't matter, because I'll be in this 4-way. I'll win the Progress Women's Championship. And then I'll have singles matches, and after singles match while I defend the Progress Women's World Championship.
We will wait and see. It's only about a month away. Just slight aside from that now, Neil, I just wanted to get opinions in women's wrestling in general. Obviously, look, people say the women's revolution started in 2014, 2015. It started way before that, way back when TNA was doing the knockouts division. Do you think now that, not necessarily just on the independents, but in the scene in general, that it has become a lot more important, more of an important factor as it should be than what it was?
Yes, but I'm greedy. I always want more. Like, even if you think the fact that, so for those of you who watched the latest Live Nina Samuels show on Progress, one thing that Kanji said as she declared this a ladder match, which infuriated me, was she said, we're going to elevate this division, and in a weekend dominated by men, we're going to put the women's match in a dominant position where it belongs. And that annoyed me, because Super Strong Style 16 last year, what was the match from that weekend that was being talked about more than any other match?
Yes, and yours.
That would be me and Alexis Falcon, the Clock Strikes Midnight match. The first match announced for Super Strong Style 16 last year was Nina Samuels versus Alexis Falcon. The only match announced for that entire weekend for well over a month, maybe even 2 months, was Nina Samuels versus Alexis Falcon. So the prospect that we are just accepting that the men are dominating, I don't take kindly to that. It's not about the number of matches. So as far as I know, this is probably going to be the only women's match, the only match featuring a woman in Super Strong Style 16. And I'm going to make sure that we do the same thing. I say we are going to make sure, not collectively as a team, because I'm not teaming with any of those people. I am in this for myself, for that Women's World Championship. but I know the tenacity in Rio, in Lizievo, in Kanji. And I know that they will have the exact same view. We're all going to be trying to outdo each other in that match because it's that attitude that has got all of us to where we are now. But the work's never done. How many cards up and down the country do you still see that have no women's matches at all? Still plenty. Or if there is one women's match, it's still being treated like it's a favor to those women. You know, there's a very high up promoter in British wrestling who has gone on a podcast to defend women's wrestling while saying that a match that had no women's matches, well, which one of those men's matches would you have taken away to put a women's match in? You know, as long as that kind of attitude is still prevalent, we've still got a long way to go.
Indeed. Well, I always say any show that I go to, well, not that I make sure, but stuff that we've been involved with, we always ensure that there is, and not because it's a favour, because we like to promote it. We've got our own, as mentioned just now, we've got our own women's championship out there. So we do very much agree with that comment that it should be on a show. Speaking of shows, Nina, obviously as we're wrapping up now, because I appreciate you're a very busy lady. I'll get my
words. In demand.
You're in demand, so I appreciate that. So can you just get us know where the Nina Samuel show will be over the next course of months? I will be at another event at one of yours, and you're going to probably reel it off. So go ahead.
Depends. What date is this going out? I got a busy time coming up.
So this will be going out. Well, put it this way: we're recording on a Monday. This will be going out on Thursday this week.
Thursday. Okay, so bear in mind I will have just successfully defended my Right Cabaret Women's Championship against Alex Windsor. Not a prediction, but a spoiler. Oh. And then, so Thursday, I am performing at Restival for Head Drop Pro. Friday, I am defending my Eve Women's Championship against Sue Young, Pro Wrestling Eve. Saturday, I have 2 matches at Restival, one for Galzilla, one for King of the Ring. On Sunday, I am defending my Tidal Women's Championship against Lana Austin at Tidal. On Monday, I am defending my W3L Women's Championship up in Scotland in an open challenge. So we will have to see who answers that. Then that following Friday at Lucha Britannia on the 10th of May, I am defending my Lucha Britannia World Championship. I could go on, I could go on, I could go on. A period of 7 matches in 7 days, a day off, then back again. It does not stop. Does not stop. So follow me on all my social medias to keep up with track, because I can barely keep track myself. My Google Calendar is working overtime, let me tell you.
I can imagine it is. W3L, I think one of my co-hosts might be up there, Fiona Lochran. I think she may be. I think she does the MC of W3L. I'll have to find out this week. You also, and I know this because I'm going to it, going to be in June. So I know June's way off in terms of your calendar, Nina, but RCWA is going to get a Nina Samuels appearance. So that's a couple of days. Yes, I'm looking forward to that as well. It's a couple of days after my 40th birthday, so maybe you can bring me a cake.
There you go. Well, maybe I bring them to my merchandise stall and you can pay for the privilege.
I'll get one of your hats.
Well, maybe we'll do a token. So people always ask me why I don't sell hats and merchandise, and if they knew the effort that it took to transport one singular hat and not break it, that is why I don't sell hats. In case anyone wonders. But yeah, really looking forward to that for RCWA. I've only been to an RCWA show once, which is when I very first started wrestling, and I just went to watch it as a fan because it's quite local to me. I'm an East London girl, so yeah, really looking forward to doing that one. It's nice steadily having more and more shows in Essex as well. So I just won the HEW Women's Championship. Well, technically Hertfordshire, I think, but that sort of realm. CXW, who are regular running in Braintree. So yeah, it's nice doing a lot more shows in my neck of the woods. So looking forward to the RCWA debut.
Me too. Yeah, we're literally about 15 minutes down the road from it. So we're looking forward to that as well. Nina, I've appreciated, I hope I've done your show justice. I do appreciate the time that you've taken to tell us. But just before we go, one last shot, your 3 opponents at Super Strong Style. You tell them what's going to happen.
Lizzie, Kanji, Rio. It's been an absolute pleasure having you cameo in the Nina Samuels show. But there is always, and always will be, one main character, and that is Nina Samuels.
And on that note, everybody, she has been the belt collector, Nina Samuels. I have been your host, Adam Cousins. We'll see you all at Super Strong Style. Until then, everybody, take care and goodbye.